The day I found a positive pregnancy test hidden beneath a pile of trash in our bathroom, my entire marriage changed. My wife, Natalie, had never mentioned being pregnant. That alone made no sense. We had not been trying for a baby, and for months she had avoided every kind of intimacy with me. She always blamed work, stress, or headaches. Holding that test in my shaking hands, I realized there was only one explanation I had been refusing to see. Instead of confronting her, I carefully placed the test back exactly where I found it. Natalie had always been incredibly good at manipulating every argument. If I accused her without proof, she would somehow convince me I was overreacting. So I smiled, acted normal, and decided to watch instead of speak. The next morning, she behaved as though nothing had happened. She kissed my cheek, poured herself coffee, and casually scrolled through her phone. But I noticed something different. She never let that phone leave her hand. She even carried it into the bathroom several times. When I casually asked if everything was okay, she laughed and claimed she had stomach problems from sushi. The lie was obvious because we had not eaten sushi in weeks. While she was at work, I searched the house. Inside the trash, I found a receipt from a boutique in another town. It listed luxury candles, expensive lingerie, and a bottle of men's cologne. None of those things had ever entered our house. That evening, I asked about the receipt. Natalie smiled without hesitation and claimed the cologne was a birthday gift for her boss from the entire office. It sounded believable, but something about her expression told me she had rehearsed that answer. A few days later, I followed her after she left for work. Instead of driving downtown to her office, she parked outside a quiet little cafe. Minutes later, a well-dressed man joined her. They laughed together, shared breakfast, and looked happier than I had seen Natalie in months. Before leaving, he gently brushed her hair aside and kissed her cheek. I sat in my car taking photos while trying to control my anger. At that moment, every doubt disappeared. Still, I needed undeniable proof. After gaining access to her laptop, I discovered playful emails between her and a man named Ryan. Their conversations were full of inside jokes and secret plans. Then I opened her calendar and found something that stopped my heart. Friday at 3 o'clock. Prenatal appointment. She was not only pregnant, she had been secretly attending doctor visits behind my back. Curious about Ryan, I searched his name online. He was a successful consultant, married, and the father of 2 children. Suddenly, I realized this affair had already destroyed more than one family. On Friday, I waited outside the clinic. Natalie arrived first, and Ryan was already standing outside holding 2 coffees. They hugged like a couple before walking inside together. I quietly entered through a side entrance and watched from the hallway. Inside the examination room, Ryan sat proudly beside her while the doctor discussed the pregnancy. Natalie smiled as she rested her hand on her stomach, and Ryan asked questions about the baby. I recorded everything before leaving without being noticed. The following evening, Natalie suggested we have dinner at an expensive Italian restaurant. She acted like the perfect wife, smiling and making small talk. Halfway through the meal, I calmly mentioned her late nights, the coffee meetings, and finally the prenatal appointment. Her smile disappeared instantly. She denied everything until I placed my phone on the table and showed her the video from the clinic. The color drained from her face. Finally, she admitted she had been having an affair with Ryan. Instead of apologizing, she claimed I had become boring and predictable, and that Ryan made her feel alive again. Those words hurt more than the betrayal itself. I reminded her that I had spent years supporting her while she secretly planned to make me raise another man's child. Then I told her I had every photo, email, and recording I needed. If she continued lying, I would send everything to Ryan's wife. Back at home, Natalie tried blaming me for the distance in our marriage and begged for another chance. This time, I refused to accept the guilt she wanted me to carry. I told her to pack her bags and leave. Before sunrise, she was gone. The next morning, I emailed every piece of evidence to Ryan's wife, Christine. I included the photos, the clinic video, and screenshots of their conversations. Within an hour, she replied with a heartbreaking message thanking me for telling her the truth. She had already decided to file for divorce. Later that day, Ryan called me in a panic. He accused me of ruining his life. I calmly reminded him that I had not destroyed anything he had done, that the moment he chose to betray his own family before hanging up, I warned him never to contact me again. Over the following weeks, both relationships collapsed. Natalie and Ryan quickly realized that the excitement they had chased could not survive the consequences of their lies. Their relationship ended almost as quickly as it had begun. As for me, life slowly became peaceful again. I started running every morning, picked up my guitar, and spent time with friends I had neglected during my marriage. One afternoon, while cleaning my office, I found an old wedding photo of Natalie and me. I looked at it for a few seconds, smiled at the man I used to be, and quietly fed it into the shredder. That was the moment I truly moved on. Betrayal almost destroyed me, but in the end it gave me something far more valuable than revenge. It gave me the courage to walk away, reclaim my life, and understand that the greatest victory is never making the people who hurt you suffer. It is becoming someone they can never hurt again.